Since the beginning of Islander Watch, they've been filling a void that would occur in the enthusiast market. So when the SKX was discontinued, or when all of the US suppliers could no longer get the JDM models, that's about that time frame is when Mark and the crew at Island Watch picked up the slack, took the ball and ran with it. So this is the ISL-01. So the tenacity at the models that are coming out of that brand is just insane. And when you look at the history, which it's crazy to even think because it seems like it really just started yesterday, but there's history now with Islander Watch. And we fast forward from this model all the way to the more in-house designs. So whereas that's clearly based off the SKX from Seiko, right? This guy here is their own design. And they have many others that fall into their own design category, and they are always awesome. I have not seen one yet that I was like, yuck, you know. They're pretty much all unique and fun, and it seems like it's just the bar keeps getting raised higher and higher with every model that comes out, especially with like collabs and everything that they're doing. This one I was able to check out in person at the Chicago Worn and Wound Wind-Up Watch Fair, and I left with it. It's an awesome watch. I just had to have it. So white dial, there's 3 different variants for the colors. There's the white, there's a gray, and a blue. I was hyper focused on the white because look at the dial, guys. It's the golf ball watch essentially, and I have access to a lot of the golf balls. That's all I'll say about that. This is the ISL-211, the Melville GMT in the white, or aka the golf ball. Let's cover the measurements real quick, and then we'll do some close-ups because there's a lot of little Easter eggs in this, and I really dig this part of what the brand is doing with some of their collabs or designs. Like this guy here, the opportunity for Easter eggs is plentiful, and they took advantage of it, and I dig that. So I measure the case width on this thing at 40.5 millimeter. The lug-to-lug is a 47.1 millimeter. The thickness with a single domed crystal up top, you can see that with the distortion, is 13.8 millimeter. And yeah, it's sapphire top and bottom. So that's the other thing that Islander does. Super affordable prices, spec heavy, enthusiast, resonating designs or models, colors, everything you can think of. Just turns out, let me silence that. You probably just checked your phone. You're probably like, oh, did I just get a text? No, I did. I'm sorry for that. I silenced it. So the lug opening is 20 millimeter. Also, I'm not big on editing, so I won't edit that out. 6.5 millimeter signed screw down crown. Yeah, so it does have water resist. I didn't write down what the water resist is. Does it say it on the case back? I'm sure it's at least 100. Yeah, 100 meters. So 100, probably could do 200. I dare you to do it because odds are you're probably never going to reach 100. So I have been wearing this, so if there's any little marks on it, I apologize. But I wore it. So currently the price point on this, get this, they have a discount a lot of times. Currently the price on this thing is only $285, and I think that is an amazing price point for how awesome this watch is. Let's do some close-ups. It is time to start counting the Easter eggs. So even without the Easter eggs, it was already cool. It has the NH34 movement in it. It has the green 24-hour hand pointing perfectly to that inner scale. On that inner scale, you have the 18 done in green tied with the rest of the spots of green. You can see it's also finished off with a little flagpole as the 1 on the 18, the flag that goes in the cup in the green. Yeah, that's what it is. Also, if you look at the balance on the second hand, that's a putter. So that's pretty cool. The verbiage down below. Now, I didn't check with Mark and the crew on this, but GMT is done in green, automatic, and then it says 109 yards. Well, 109 yards is kind of like the ideal distance from the fairway to the green. That's usually where you end up laying up with some sort of wedge, depending on your skill level. That's roughly the distance. I suspect that's the tie to the 109 yards. I could be wrong on that. It might have a different significance in this application, but that's my knowledge of it. Also, if you look on the bottom there, it says movement, and it says 9H3, and then they spelled out 4. So yeah, watch out. Ball is incoming. Sorry, I was way off course. 4 on the golf course, in case you don't know. That's what you yell when, yeah, you hit the ball wrong or maybe too far or whatever. That's never the case for me, but, and it's, you know, impending doom for people up ahead or something. It's more of a heads up, you know, take cover. So, nice sharp handset there. You can see the, look at the way the loom is laid out on that. So you got the brushing on the hands, and then it's thinly lined with loom. This is the thing. How does a brand have this much attention to detail on a watch sub $300? Sure, you can get deals on crystals and cases and movements because you might use them in multiple colorways and everything like that, and you buy them in bulk. I get that, but the dials and hands, and then when you start adding in all these little Easter eggs that are only available on like 3 different colorways, and they're done in 3 different colors, and then you still land the price at $285. I don't get it. Yeah, I said $285, right? I don't know how it's done. It's freaking awesome, and I'm glad they do it. And even the strap, it's super comfortable, and clearly it's like a green suede, a very short nap, like you would expect on the green as you're getting ready to putt. So very cool. Here's a look at the movement, NH34 with a blue Islander rotor. Usually Islander watches have these really great solid case backs with their Islander logo. Occasionally they'll do display case backs. I'm not sure why they chose to go with a display case back on this. Again, maybe it was to potentially keep the cost down. Maybe it's less expensive to go with a display case back versus that, I think it's oil pressed how they do that. Case back, they could have done something more custom on that, and it would have maybe bumped the price up 15 or 20 bucks. I'm speculating. I have no idea. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I have no actual information on that. I'm just guessing. But either way, I almost never look at the case back. So very good looking watch. Absolutely love to add this to the collection. So big thanks to Mark and the crew at Island Watch for hooking me up with this guy. Let's do a wrist shot. I know I went super long on this video. I tend to do that. If you're a regular consumer of my content, I tend to go a little bit longer on watches that I'm, you know, impressed with or fascinated with or enamored with or whatever verbiage or descriptive phrase you want to tie together with a watch. I tend to get a little blabbery about ones that I like. It's as simple as that. Let's give this a quick blast with the UV light. Pull out that C3 Super Luminova. Yeah, the lume on this is fun. Check that out. Isn't that bonkers? This is what I'm talking about. Like the creativity, and then to be able to actually produce it at pretty high quality control. I mean, I did a close-up. I did a really good close-up. Did you see any flaws? I didn't. I mean, you could go look closer, but really, it's pretty dang good. I don't see any need to scrutinize it any further than we already have. I think it's a phenomenal watch. If you have not tried an Islander watch, go to the website. I'll put a link in the description. I have no affiliation with them or anything like that. But odds are you can probably find something you like at a pretty more than fair price. I'll see you guys on the next vid.